Ashleigh, it's great to see you. It's great to have you on board. Welcome to the family.
Hey, Joe, thank you. It's such a treat to be on with you.
Well, Ashleigh, I think first off, we are so excited to welcome you to the NewsNation family. Glad to have you part of the team. What attracted you to this opportunity and this show and the format?
Definitely you, Marnie, without question.
All right,
Yeah.
interview's done.
Off to a good start.
It's your mission. You guys nailed it. You went for the center lane. You said enough is enough. We've all been yelled at for several years on cable news now, and it's just time to get back to the roots of what we all really appreciate, and that is just the facts, ma'am. I can think for myself, and as a news viewer, which I am an avid one, I'm exhausted watching the news. And so when I saw you guys launch, and I saw this pure, pristine product, without bias, without attitude, I just breathed a sigh of relief. And I thought, man, I'm home.
Well, Ashleigh, thanks for joining us during such a dull news cycle. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. What do you, for folks who start tuning in March 1st, which is the big debut, what kind of show are you envisioning? What is Banfield going to be all about? So
the idea here is to do deep dive, long form, kind of reboot the format of Larry King. Because, you know, we move pretty quick through the news cycle throughout the day and even the evening part. And sometimes when you hit prime time, it's good just to digest and let those interviews breathe.
Ashleigh, you've done so much in your career, from court work, court TV, live rescue. You were ABC, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, murder mystery. How does all of that prepare you for a show like this?
Well, for one, I can fully admit that I am ancient. But with that comes wisdom, my friend. I mean, Joe, the truth is, look, after 33 years and I think like 80 countries, I know a lot. I've got a great foundation and I'm really proud of what I've built. And so I think when you have a strong foundation, you get a little more unflappable. And you're prepared to sort of go places maybe, you know, in your 20s and 30s, you might not have gone. There's a lot that comes with confidence. And I think that is something you can sense when, you know, you have someone across the table. They know when they can get away with murder in an interview, and then they know when they can't. They also know when they can be vulnerable, and they can know when they're safe. And I think you learn a lot from people when you understand that dynamic. I'm probably talking in way too arcane terms about what it's like to be a broadcaster, but I think it matters.
Yeah, and that's what I think attracted all of us, is kind of back to the basics with NewsNation. And you have a plethora of topics to talk about, from the pandemic right now, the political season, the social and racial unrest that we see happening across the country. What are some of the topics and particularly the people that you're most looking forward to bringing on your show?
I think I really want to dig into the top, you know, news stories. Like, I would love to get Mitch McConnell in the chair. I would love to get Madonna in the chair. I want to talk to George Bush. I want to talk to Dick Cheney. You know, I want to talk to, I mean, there's a couple of like YouTube stars who I really like as well. And they bring to the table a whole new generation of intrigue. And when we're all busy, we can't consume it all at once. So I feel like this is going to be a place where one day it may be politics and the other day it might be rap. One day it might be, you know, international acclaim and intrigue. And the next day it might be, you know, who's Charlie D'Amelio on Instagram, and why does she have tens of millions of followers at age, you know, 15? There's a lot that I still need to learn, and I want the viewers to learn along with me.
Just for folks who may not be familiar with your work over the years, how would you describe your brand of journalism and what kind of interviewer you are?
So I learned a long time ago, coming from a family of 6, I was the youngest of 4, that I needed to shut up. And I think that was a really good lesson for me all through my career. I think, especially as women, Marnie, I don't know if you felt this way or not, but coming into television, I felt I had to prove myself twice as much as my guy friends. And the truth was I did not. And the more you talk, the less you leave to mystery. And there's a lot that can be said in silence. I find I get the most out of my guests when I don't jump in and finish the sentence or fill the void. Voids are powerful. They tell you so much about a person. And then they usually lead to more revelations. And so I think my brand has become, and it's taken a while, not going to lie, a good listener. You know, I think I've come to a point where the questions need to be short and the answers need to be long.
Ashleigh, I do have the age card here among the four of us, so
I don't know.
I'll play that.
I don't know.
Trust
I
me.
think I got you beat.
But I do remember your coverage from 9/11, and it really was the event that sort of thrust you into the limelight. In many ways, you were in the thick of the coverage there. For people who didn't see it or weren't around to watch it, talk about how that event shaped you as a journalist and as a person.
Sure. First of all, can you believe that this is the 20th anniversary coming up in September? Feels like yesterday. I think that, well, first of all, it changed me as a person, and not always for the better. I have a shorter fuse, and I think some residual PTSD from that. And anybody who went through it needs to realize that is okay, and you should say it, wear it, and don't be ashamed of it. That was a hell of a situation for us all to live through. I was actually under the North Tower when it came down and nearly lost my life. So that's a pretty life-changing experience. And it's also made me a better journalist because I have never been more intellectually curious as to how we got there. Why did this happen? Who were these people? How do they tick? What makes them tick? How can we change the way they tick? Can we change the way they tick? So I just became a lot more broad in my fascination. I was already interested in global culture, but this took it, into the stratosphere. And I also think since then, I learned a lot about us as Americans because I ended up being given this incredible opportunity, not only to travel the globe and report from dozens of nations, but also to travel the United States and learn about everybody from Nebraska to Maine to Washington State to Wyoming to South Dakota. There's a lot more to this country than LA and New York. And being a Midwesterner myself from Winnipeg, doesn't get any more central, the prairies, I have a great affinity for those voices. They're all important and everyone's voice counts. So I think that's what's really driven me from that experience and helped me grow.
And just so curious, March 1st is the big debut. So what are you going to be doing the next couple of weeks to kind of get ready, get acclimated, get the show off the ground? What's that process, the creative process for you like?
Yeah, definitely my roots, and then probably my nails.
Join the club.
Work from home. So there is so much to do. The booking game itself, getting people to schedule and be available and then agree and then carry through with their, commitments and get those shows stacked. That's going to take a Herculean effort. Psyched for it. Really excited to put together the team that's going to be able to effectuate this. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys all in person once we can hug. And then I'm looking forward to just digging in to the mission and looking at how we can bring the best, unbiased, attitude-free program to the airwaves. And when I say attitude-free, I mean political attitude. You can cop any attitude you want with me, and I particularly like funny. So we're going to start looking at an array of guests that hopefully will blow your mind, Rob.
Love it.
We love it, Ashleigh. Well, personally, I think people may be curious what you've been up to. Lots of us have found extra time on our hands with the pandemic and being at home. I happen to come across the fact that you like puzzles, as do I, although I don't think I can compete with you. Joe gave me a Chicago puzzle for Christmas. But what have you been doing lately that you want to share with people?
So, I took up hiking as well. And I take my dog and I hike probably, I think, upwards of 4 to 5 times a week. I do about 4 miles each time. And I get all my ideas while I'm out on the trail. So I'm one of those weirdos who hikes with her iPhone and does like auto messages, like voice to text messages while I'm hiking. People think I'm nuts. It's okay. I'm cool with that. And the puzzles, holy moly. I'm not as good as you think I am, Marnie. I bet you do them faster than I do. It takes me forever.
I've given up on a few good ones.
I particularly enjoy crushing them on Instagram afterwards. And I think that's where I get my greatest joy. All that work and then just 3 seconds of crush.
We'll have some puzzle wars then in the months to come.
You'll win. I know it.
And hey, any guilty pleasures during the pandemic? Tiger King, a certain movie, show, food, anything?
All the above. Particularly, I had a problem with eggnog and rum the last few weeks. I'm done.
I'm not alone,
Yeah.
guys.
You know what was bad about that? Button pants. Yeah, my guilty pleasures have been like binging, you name it. I love The Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
What? Fantastic. Tiger King, man, that was so like early pandemic. But I think if you name it, Yellowstone, I've been there. I early on decided to go back and watch The West Wing. Holy Moses. I didn't realize there was many episodes as there were. So that took a good hot month. But I have been pretty much, I've used up my value of Netflix.
Well, you're about to get very busy, Ashleigh Banfield. We are, again, so happy to have you on board with us. We can't wait to see you March 1st with Banfield. Welcome to NewsNation.
Thanks, guys. Can't wait to meet you in person.
You too. Thanks, Ashleigh.